Hi, this is Candy Johnson. I am your host, and this is Real Talk, brought to you by Real Raw Records. Today's topic is reality check. And every so often here on this show, we do a reality check. I myself personally, I like to do what I call a reality check or self evaluation. Same thing. I like to do it every day, but I'm not intending to force that um, habit upon my viewers. But I would like to encourage the viewers to do that if you are aspiring to be a better person or accomplish a goal and things of that nature. That's a good technique of evaluation to evaluate yourself, see if what you're doing makes sense, see if you have the right attitude about it, see if you have realistic goals, and also check to see if for some things I want, but I don't even have, and I realized during my evaluations that I didn't even have a plan to accomplish them. So if you don't even have a plan to accomplish something, then it's very unrealistic to expect for it to materialize if you don't even have a plan. Okay. A good example of habit of a goal set and not being realistic as to mm, reaching that goal, and you don't even have a plan. For example, I have come across people that say, um, let's say for example, the males who have said to themselves, I want a good wife. Okay. And they kind of left that up there in the air to be determined what a good wife is to them. They haven't realistically sat down with themselves and evaluated themselves to find out, or ask anyone else. It's good to ask other people because that could help if they have any knowledge or wisdom concerning relationships. But um, it would be wise to ask yourself, what type of person could you get along with for a lifetime? If you're talking about having a mate for a lifetime, you wouldn't need to think about, oh, I like this person, they was fun to be around with, and y'all were only around each other for a couple of hours a day. For example, a lot of people pick their mates at work or somewhere in an environment that is only temporary. Okay. Now, they pick those people generally based upon their looks or the physical appearance or what that person is like wherever it is that they met that person. But people don't realistically keep in mind the fact that a lot of people put their best foot forward in different environments. When you're at work, you have a professional type persona. When you're at home, you have a totally different persona. Okay. I myself, I try to be me all the time, but that's not the normal. All right. I am realistic enough to understand that other people don't practice that being real. So anytime you get in a relationship with somebody, they're gonna put on a facade of being somebody that they're really not. That's just a common behavior. It's not that they're trying to trick you or anything. If a person wants to impress you, they're gonna be the person that they think would impress you. Okay. So people that are looking for mates need to keep that in mind. In all reality, people are putting forth their best foot forward for first, in the beginning. And some people not good with keeping up a pretense or keeping up a facade. Okay. And so a lot of times they'll show you their real self early on. Pay attention. Okay. They'll show you the monster, so to speak. So pay attention. What's her name? Maya Angelou. I have a meme of Maya Angelou, and she said that when people show you who they are, believe them. Believe them the first time. Okay. This has been my problem, and I'll confess at this point that this has been my problem in relationships where I ignored, someone mistreating me in the beginning, mainly because I always try to look for the good in people, all right? And I always try to look for the best in people. And I always try to be more understanding about the fact that everybody has flaws and everybody make mistakes and everybody comes from a different environment. Perhaps certain things that they may do to offend me, they may not even think of it as being offensive because wherever they was raised, or perhaps they had a bad upbringing or a lack of upbringing that they don't even realize what they're doing is offensive. So I always try to keep all of that in mind, all right? Not thinking sometimes that whenever I make a mistake or do something offensive to that person, I look at the fact, well, I do now, but I look at the fact, well, how gracious are they to me? And it's not so much that it's a tit for tat thing, but in a relationship, you do want give and take. If a person wants you to pardon them and forgive them, and when they do something that is displeasing to you, then they have to be willing to extend that as well. So if you're getting into a relationship, a lifetime relationship, you don't want to be in a lifetime relationship with somebody who thinks it's okay to violate you and do things to you and expect for you to pardon them. But when you do something, they hold grudges forever and ever and throw it back up in your face and mistreat you and and stuff like that. So that is a really good example of how people aren't realistic with their goals and even choosing a mate. Either they're not, their behavior is unrealistic, that they would think, I want this perfect woman. I want this woman, I want her beautiful, I want her petite, I want her, flawless, all right? I want her to have money, I want her to have a job, I want her to be nice, I want her to be respectful, and da-da-da-da-da. Meanwhile, you're a monster, okay? That is just very unrealistic to expect someone to be something that you're nowhere near being yourself. Now, granted, opposites attract. However, what I'm referring to is that when you're looking for a mate, the most important thing is be realistic with yourself. Another thing is that you need to have some specific goals. And in order to reach that goal, I'll say for myself, okay, I'm trying not to be very picky concerning the physical features. Although for me, I prefer darker skinned men, and I prefer men that are buff. You know, most of the men that I've been with, and I haven't been with a whole bunch of men, but I would say out of the ones that I have been with, they were buff. You know, I like very muscular men. Okay, even if they was not as big of a man, they generally were very muscular. Okay, so I have to keep in mind that I certainly don't want to. Um, Push a man, a good man that treats me right, that treats me with respect. I certainly don't want to push him away, trying to get a man that's buff, okay, to physical features. Um, Anything can happen to a person and their physical, and they lose their physical features. So my goal as in a relationship is to look for somebody who treats me right, okay. Not only that, I am wanting that person to not just treat me right in the beginning and then start treating me like trash. So I do have some time frames of which I see this person has to be consistent. Okay. I have a time frame which I'm looking at in a relationship to not just jump into a relationship, but I have a time frame in mind of at least if this person is consistent for this amount of time, and I'm not going to say what that is specifically. But thank God, people that are monsters usually show that they are monsters early on. So they don't usually make it for my time frame. So thank God the monsters so monstrous that they show themselves pretty quickly. And I've also wisened up since the last month. Excuse me, since the last monster I had. And it's just and I married, and he showed himself like really early in the relationship, but like I said, I ignored it, okay, because I was being unrealistic to think, oh well, maybe he'll, if I be a really good woman to him, he'll change. No, that's BS. It's not realistic. And what is this show? Title of this show is a reality check. I had to do a reality check on myself, okay? And another circumstance that I've noticed that people are very unrealistic about, and they need a reality check. We spoke about this briefly on another reality check, is people want large sums of money to just come to them. I noticed that in some churches, they teach people that all they have to do is keep saying it over and over and over again, money coming to me, money coming to me, and the money will just come to them. All right, that's BS. Another thing I've noticed, and is that this type of lie is not only perpetrated or perpetuated in churches, but it also is perpetuated in some of these self-help groups that are so-called teaching the laws of attraction, where people will attract things or people or money to themselves. And someone I know who have practiced that type of behavior, what I've noticed is that some people believe that those tricks and gimmicks work, because they do temporarily work sometimes, depending on the person, on how they go about doing it. Okay. But the truth of the matter is, and the reality of the situation is that what I've also noticed, that even in those situations where they do work, it's very temporal. It's kind of like when you just throw a seed out and it grows up, but because it hasn't been rooted in the ground, or it's not been planted properly, that it uproots and it doesn't have any substance. It don't grow very well, or it'll wither away. All right. And so that's kind of like when people use these little gimmicks and tricks, and they'll even deceive themselves, and they'll deceive others into thinking that this really works. You know, no, all you got to do is, and they have all of their little tricks and gimmicks that they use. They call it the law of attraction, and they call it persuasive arguments or whatever like that. But the problem that, like I said, that type of behavior brings is you're superficial. When you're being superficial and not genuine, like I said, it's just like planting seeds in the ground. I mean, not planting them, but just throwing them on the ground. And so even though if something may spring up, it has no substance. So what's happening is that, say, for example, they come across money, it just as quick as they get it in their hands, they lose it. Okay. They're not very good stewards of the money because they're already living in make-believe land. So they're not very good stewards of money. They gamble and so forth. And so however they lose the money, they buying things that, come and go. They're very wasteful and stuff like that. Those type of behaviors are consistent with the seeds that they're sowing. Basically, they're playing games with other people to get the money. So somebody will trick them to get it back out of their hands, because you reap what you sow. You get back what you dish out. If you dish out dishonesty and you dish out you fake and not a genuine person, well, guess what? When you don't be genuine and you're not real and you're not honestly caring about making a fair exchange, I always say even exchange is no robbery. Okay. So when you want to give somebody empty bucket for their dollar, so to speak, and you're giving them nothing basically, but an empty bucket, a pretty empty bucket. And that's what the power of persuasion and all of that is to me. It's like a beautiful empty bucket where they'll use these very enticing words, and they get you all involved, and it's nothing there, no substance, no nothing, and if they're selling you products, the products ain't what they say they are. If they're selling you an idea, the idea never works out. Whatever it is it's a beautifully dressed or beautifully decorated empty bucket. Okay. And that's just the reality of it. Okay. I can't, I could doctor it up, but I'd be guilty of the very thing that I'm talking about. That's just the reality of it. Straightforward and blunt, no beating around the bush, no hiding behind trees. That's just as real as it gets. So, if you're aspiring to a very valuable relationship, or a career where you are financially, what do you call that, stable and secure, or you're embarking upon anything in life that's positive, please keep in mind that what you put into it is what you get out of it. So if you've been putting in positive things and doing the right thing, please believe. I don't care what it looks like right now. Please believe that what you put into it and the effort, and the time, the care, the concern, whatever that you put into it, you will get back what you put into it. If you put honesty and integrity into whatever your efforts are, that you're sure to reap the benefits of that. I can assure you that, because in life I have accomplished many things that seemed impossible, but I kept at it and I kept at it. I kept at it. And sometimes I slacked a little bit, but I just kept making little baby steps, you know. But I accomplished that I was going after. Okay, things that people said or thought was impossible, I did them. I accomplished them because I believe in that the principles of sowing and reaping. Whatever you dish out, you're gonna get that back, and it's gonna be increased. This guy recently told me, because he was acting an ass. He told me, he said, "You ain't gonna never get this and that and this and that and the other. You ain't gonna get no this and that." And I said, wait a minute. I say, you telling me that I shouldn't, he told me, he said, you should never expect or pray for what you deserve. And I said, that makes no damn sense. It's a good thing that I am very grounded, because he said, you should never ask for what you deserve. And I said, what you mean I should never ask what I deserve? I'm a good woman. You know, I take care of my business. I'm a good person, period. I say, so if for me to expect to get a good mate to treat me right with respect and honor and things and cherish me, that's fair because I deserve it. So I said, that makes no damn sense. You know, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit about, because he want to be trash to me, and want me to accept him being trash to me. He trying to convince me that nobody else would treat me right. Get the fuck out of here. I should start playing my song, What the Fuck You Say, for him. Yeah, he gonna convince me of that BS. I've been down that road already before, baby. I know what time it is. I know when a person tell you crap like that, it's because they want to be trash and they want you to accept they trash. No, thank you. No, thank you, hon. Keep that bull. I'm gonna wait my time out and be consistent and be a good person, and time and chance happen to us all. But in the meantime, in between time for you all, I say, as always, I say, keep it real or take your ass back to fantasy land.